The last few weeks have been particularly tense in Venezuela as coronavirus spreads and the US ratchets up its pressure on President Nicolas Maduro, raising the prospect that he might not be able to weather this storm and hold on to power.
Grupos financiados desde el exterior, desde Estados Unidos, desde Colombia, grupos que creen que pueden aprovechar la pandemia y la cuarentena para acciones terroristas, golpistas.
The US justice system has charged Mr. Maduro and around a dozen of his associates with international narco-terrorism, drug trafficking, corruption, and other crimes.
While the Venezuelan people suffer, this cabal lines their pockets with drug money and the proceeds of their corruption.
Washington has offered a $15 million reward for information leading to the president's arrest. The Americans have also announced a plan to break Venezuela's political deadlock. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said it would involve both Mr. Maduro and Venezuela's opposition leader, Juan Guaido, stepping back and allowing a transitional government to take over until fresh elections could be held.
If the conditions of the framework are met, including the departure of foreign security forces and elections deemed free and fair by international observers, then all remaining U.S. sanctions would be lifted.
Mr. Maduro rejected the plan out of hand. Then US President Donald Trump said he was sending warships into the Caribbean and closer to the Venezuelan coast to stop drug cartels exploiting coronavirus to smuggle narcotics to the US.
We're at war with COVID-19, we're at war with terrorists, and we are at war with the drug cartels as well.
All this has come against the backdrop of the pandemic. Venezuela has reported only a small number of cases, but it is one of the worst prepared countries in the world to deal with coronavirus.
After the pandemic and the close down of the economy and the country, I suppose all the people that live from informal works, it is over 60% of the population, it will have massive problems to survive. And all the social programs that the Maduro government used to have are based on the oil income, and the oil prices have gone so significantly down, oil production as well. Venezuela is under sanctions from the US, so it makes a cocktail of very negative elements against the Maduro government.
In a further twist, a former Venezuelan general who used to be close to the government in Caracas but has fallen out with Mr. Maduro and now lives in Colombia admitted that he was planning a military operation against the Maduro regime. He said that US contractors and Mr. Guaido were aware of the plan, a charge Mr. Guaido denied.
Part of the strategy of the US is a war of attrition, exacerbating the economic and humanitarian crisis in Venezuela, hoping that the Venezuelan people will riot or they will start protesting against the government and putting massive internal pressure to Maduro. So far, we haven't seen it.
With tensions high, the way the government tackles the pandemic could determine whether Mr. Maduro clings on or whether the US finally succeeds in its long-running campaign to drive him from power.